Alright, well, happy Wednesday morning, all. It is July 3rd, the day before Independence Day. I'm headed out for a quick work commute, and then stop off for lunch at my office. Alright, off we go. I was just exchanging replies and comments with a viewer and fellow Ryker owner. He was asking me if I had any trouble with my Ryker, or my Rally. And I replied back to him saying, just mainly cosmetic items like this big rust spot right here. And a couple of other little nuisance items, nothing terribly big, no maintenance thing or a mechanical thing yet. And he replied back saying that he had already had a cam seal go out, fuel pump go out, several fairly serious items. That's unfortunate. So one thing that he mentioned about the fuel pump was that his had failed, and he said that there was a loud sound coming from it, and I have just noticed that on mine. And I don't know how I got this big hickey right here. Something scuffed my plastic up. It's probably courtesy of my topper. Anyway, the fuel pump on this thing started whining. I noted that in a couple of my latest ride vlogs on the Ryker. It seems to be temperature related after I've been up on a highway ride, or if I'm tooling around in traffic at low speeds and it's really hot. The fuel pump is whining really loud. It's not the cooling fans. That's a different pitch, a different timbre to the fan noise. This is a motor whine over here on the right side somewhere. And it's definitely the fuel pump, because as soon as you enable the system, just hit the start button before it actually starts, the pump will start whining. And then when it cools down, I'll come back to it later, there's no whine. So, I don't know. I'm going to take mine in anyway to have the front hubs looked at. You can probably see it from here. They're rusty throughout, all the way through the hollow hub tube, and on the outside surface where the nut goes on, it's just rusty. It started doing that just a couple weeks after I got the bike, and it's continuing to get worse. I've gotten in there with like a plastic Scotch-Brite pad, nothing that's terribly abrasive, and WD-40, and kind of scrubbed and scoured it out a couple times, but the rust comes back. So those things are obviously not rust treated or anodized or whatever it is to prevent that kind of corrosion. It's just ugly right now, but it could become a performance or a mechanical issue later. I don't know. And then this again is just annoying, and I'm noticing a lot of these little spots under the seat and various places on the frame. Anywhere there's a weld, it seems like they didn't rust-proof this metal very well, or there might be little gaps in the clear coat, or I'm sorry, not the clear coat, the powder coat, or things like that. Something that's causing it to oxidize and be susceptible to rust. So, again, those are cosmetic. They're not really a mechanical failure or issue. It's just annoying for a brand new road-going machine. And before anybody mentions it, yes, I do leave mine sitting outside a fair amount of the time, but it's always under the gazebo outside. It's in the garage about half of the time. It's under the gazebo half the time. But, this kind of thing would happen even just riding it in the rain, which you should be able to do that with any vehicle. Guy's still got his bike sitting in the same spot on the street now for 2 months. I don't get it. See, the Ryker's width here prevents me from squirting by. Oh well. It is not as convenient as a motorcycle a lot of times. But for today's weather, we're expecting some heavy storms to blow in this afternoon. At least that's what the forecast says. In the rain, this thing's great. stability of the three wheels and anti-lock and all the rider aids, traction control, stability control, all that. Although, as shown in my last ride video that I posted on this, where my son and I got caught in the rain, it's very easy to break this thing loose if you want to. You just lean into the throttle a little bit, and whether you're in normal mode or sport mode, it still spins up about the same. It's pretty surprising to see how much you can break the back end loose before it reins it in. I had a few more people ask me about the cruise control hack, saying it looked like I had cruise control on here. Yes, that is my hack that I did right after I got the bike. It's a Go Cruise friction lock that's used on motorcycles, and it just rests against your front brake lever. Well, the Ryker doesn't have front brake lever, but we do have this frame here. Let me get by this truck. This kicks rocks. He is hauling ass. He's going 80. The handguard on this thing sets out just a little too far for the length of the Go Cruise to grab onto it. So I just put a little piece of heater hose on there and extended it, a finger on it, so to speak, and it works great. Now, it's a manual cruise control. That's one thing that anybody that's looking for a cruise control on the Ryker, you gotta understand, there's no factory cruise control option for this thing. It's not electronic. It's not going to hold a certain speed for you. It's just a throttle position lock. So whatever my speed is right now, it's going to vary up and down according to wind load, road conditions, whatever. But it works, and it lets you get your hand off of the bar and relax a little bit for a minute. It takes that strain off of you. And on the Ryker, I think that's particularly important because this thing decelerates like crazy. It's just like hitting the brakes when you drop off the throttle on this thing because of the CVT and the way it works. And that's another reason why I'm going to put the intelligent brake light on this thing. Here, I don't have anybody behind me, so let me get it off of cruise control and I'll show you. I'll get on a flat spot here. When you let off the throttle, this thing decelerates right away. It's just the same as hitting the brakes. Okay, so here we are, a level spot. Watch how fast I'm decelerating. And the deceleration gets more and, it gets faster and faster as you're slowing down. So if you don't have a cruise control on this thing, there's no way you can ever take your hand off the throttle and, air out your hand or relax your grip a little bit to get some circulation back in there. So that's a $20 hack that every Ryker owner should do if you've got the handguard. If you don't have the Rally edition with the handguards on it, then obviously you got $100 or so that you got to put that on there. That's great. It's cheap. It works. So I decided to take the Ryker today because I'm in one of those moods where, I'll put up with its little eccentricities and annoyances. Like getting boxed around right now. I'm really, there's quite a bit of wind and I just get rocked. Constantly getting tossed side to side. The Ryker constantly wandering around. I can let off the steering and I'm still in a body position. It's wandering. Constant pull isn't as much of an issue now that I got the alignment fixed, but it's always rocking. The seat is always doing this. So that's what I call tail wag the very first time I rode it. It's just constantly rocking you around in the seat, rocking and rolling. It's all fine and good unless you want to relax and enjoy the ride. I still have some more suspension tuning and playing around with it that I want to do to see if I can calm it down for my rider weight. I've reduced the front preload to about 1.5 on the collar markers, and then I haven't done much at all to the rear shock yet. I haven't changed the preload though. So I don't know, that might help it. I do have the stiffer BRP sway bar in here. But it helped a lot over a lot of these highway ripples and those reflector bumpers out there. If I would hit those before with the factory the original sway bar, the wheels would just blah, 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 they would just, you know, hammer, and they would do it independently, and it would cause the whole front end of the bike to shake around and, you know, dart and twitch and go crazy. So the stiffer bar helped that considerably. I would say it reduced that by about 50 to 60% probably. But it still doesn't, you know, it's just part of the bike, I guess. The front end on this thing is very chattery. Reducing the preload from the factory setting of 3 did make quite a bit of a difference as well, which is a little counterintuitive. You would think stiffer spring rate would hold it down better, but not unless you've got sufficient rebound damping in the shocks. If you've got too much spring and not enough rebound damping, then it's going to cause it to jackhammer. I wonder if the Fox shocks for this thing that are available from BRP, I wonder how they would do. I haven't looked at their specs to find out if they're fully adjustable for compression and rebound. I'm not sure. The rear shock on the Rally has a damping adjuster, but I haven't seen any specifics of whether it's compression or rebound or both. I think it's both. But it's not independently adjustable for compression or rebound. And the fronts don't have any adjustment besides spring preload. That groove pavement right there, look at me, just knocked around. And people that don't own Rykers or they don't own the Rally, they don't know what these problems are because they don't experience them. And there are a lot of naysayers and haters out there that like bashing on anyone that talks down on the Ryker or points out faults or anything like that. Unless you own one, man, you don't have any room talking. And that includes the Spider owners out there. Spider owners love to throw their weight around or their opinions on the Ryker. It's not the same bike. It's not the same animal at all. If you don't have one, you don't know what it's like. You don't have any idea how it rides or drives because it is different. It's drastically different than Spiders. I've ridden, I haven't owned a Spider, but I've ridden them several times. The F3s and the RTs and whatnot, and they handle totally different. They're heavier, they've got power assist steering, they've got a steering rack, which is, you know, totally different than the Ryker. The Ryker is a go-kart. Literally, it's go-kart style steering, that's it. So this is a different machine. And it handles differently. There's a whole lot of other riding chore that's involved with this thing. It's a very physical machine and very twitchy. Anyway, I'm gonna grab lunch and go to work. Well, happy Wednesday afternoon all. It is about 3:30 in the afternoon. It's supposed to be storming like crazy all day today. Nope, not happening. The weather forecasters have been spelling all the doom and gloom several days this week, and we're just not seeing it. It's not happening. Luckily, it's kind of splitting and going around Houston, so that's okay with me. It's a little overcast, but certainly not stormy. The temperature's pretty good. It's like mid-80s right now. It's not bad at all compared to what we usually have. Very nice out here right now. I am liking this temperature. I would venture a guess and say it's high 70s right now. So I'll start my commute back out toward Katy and just hunker down for the holiday, I think. I really don't want to go anywhere. I've never liked traveling on the holidays because of all the traffic and the craziness that goes on. Don't know if we're going to do any fireworks or anything this year. Just kind of take it easy. My wife is busy preparing for her trip to Brazil, so we're just kind of all in support mode for that right now. So yeah, people that say the Ryker vibrates at idle, oh yeah, it does. Look at that phone. I'm getting a whole lot of free steps that way if I use the Samsung health and fitness app. Man, it feels really good out here today. This is like a March kind of weather here. So if this nice weather holds out for a couple more days, I would like to get out of the garage and tackle some of the projects that have been waiting on me. I do want to finish tearing apart the Super Cub, put the new leg shield on it, and do the electrical work that I had planned on. See how that goes. And then I have plenty of other projects in there waiting on me, but I don't know that I'll get into those quite yet. I need to finish a few before I can tackle others. At least so I can check them off my mental list of to-dos. Typical Houston cager, that guy that came flying by me in a little Kia or whatever it was, and then nailed the brake and got back in behind me. He's not HOV, he's a solo rider, and he's cheating in the HOV, just being a tool. Going through the toll on the HOV side so he doesn't have to pay the tolls. Hyper aggressive, inconsistent, and cheating all the while. See if we can get away with it. Whatever. If the constables catch you doing it here on the tollway, it's let me see, it's a $125 fine for improper use of the HOV lanes. It's not cheap. It's better to pay that $3 toll or whatever it is and not get stuck. And here's one of the guys right here. They usually have a couple of constables running in tandem right there at the gates. They have one facing one way, one facing the other, and they'll catch people doing that. They also have an observation booth right there, and I've seen guys sitting in there with binoculars, and they kind of visually check the cars coming through, and if they see a solo driver, pull them over. You're cheating, sir. You got caught. Well, another day done, work commute gone, and home again. I'll hopefully return for another ride vlog, maybe later today. Don't know if I'll be riding anywhere tomorrow on the 4th. I'll try to stay off the roads major holidays, just so I am not one of the statistics. But we'll see how that goes. If the weather is particularly nice, then I might get out and ride. We'll see. I think I'd probably spend my day tearing into the Cub, doing that project, so I can finish it up, cross it off my list, and then see where my projects go from there. Anyway, thanks for tagging along, everybody, and I will catch you on the next installment.